Okay, so this is 10.1, and so we're going to we're basically introducing matrices and systems of matrices. And so we've got this set right here that says 4x plus 2y is equal to -3, and x plus 5y is equal to -4. And what that means here is we've got this is a system of equations. So what we really need is whatever works when we plug x in. So if x is 1 and y is 2, if that's what we found, then it would need to work for both equations, okay? Whatever we find for our solution for x and y has to work for both of these equations. Well, we have a way of solving these that we use something called matrices for. And this could be expressed as this matrix right here. And you can tell where they're coming up with these numbers. If you have your x's lined up right here, your x's are lined up, your y's are lined up, your equal signs lined up, your constant number on the ends lined up. Well, the coefficients 4 and 2, and then the answer of -3 is where they're coming up with this 4, 2. They've got a line here where the equals would be, and then the -3. On the bottom are coefficients. Since we don't have anything here in front of x, it would be 1, 5, and then our equal sign would be the line and -4. 1, 5, equal sign, -4. Where we have omitted the variables and replaced the equal signs with a vertical line. A regular array of numbers such as this is called a matrix. And if we have more than one of these, we call them matrices. The matrix is an augmented matrix because it contains not only the coefficients, but also the constant terms. This matrix down here is called the coefficient matrix. And if you'll look, it doesn't have anything after the equal sign here. The coefficient matrix drops that off, okay? So the rows of the matrix are horizontal and the columns of a matrix are vertical. So when I do this, I have to make a mental note in my head. Go down first, then over is what I kind of tell myself. So if I go down first, when I'm counting this, I would have 1, 2 rows, and then 1, 2, 3 columns. So 2 rows, if you go down first, 1, 2, over 3 columns. And there's a special way to kind of talk about that, and they call it the order M by N. So this would be your M by N. Okay, so if we go down first on this one, so it's asking us to write what M times N is on all of these, okay? So if you go down first on this one, you're gonna have 1, 2, 3. We put 3 first. It's a 3 by, this X is not X, it means just a fancy word for saying by. So this right here is read M by N matrix. So this is 3 by, we went down 3 and we have 2. So this is a 3 by 2 matrix. This one, if you go down first, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 by, well, there's only 1 column. And this one, if you go down first, you go 3 by 1, 2, 3. And that's a 3 by 3 matrix. And then this last column, this last matrix, well, it's just a 1 by 1. Okay, so really quick, just for those of you who have your graphing calculator, if I want to type a matrix in my calculator, just so that it might make it easier on the next lesson that when we do 10.2, so that's the end of 10.1, but I am going to show you how to type one of these in the calculator. So if you've got your calculator, go ahead and pull that out. I'm going to pull my calculator up real quick so I can show you how to type a couple of these, and then we can just go ahead and play with this a little bit. let me go here. So on a lot of these, you're going to want to know how to use the graphing calculator to type in your matrix. So I'm just going to practice a couple of matrices and maybe just add one. So let's put in these two matrices, okay? If you'll look in the first column here, under alpha, under math, right below math, it says matrix on the top of this x raised to the -1 button. That's what we want. We want the matrix to come up. And when you want one of these blue things to come up, you always want to start with the second matrix. And here are the names for our matrices. So we could put in a lot of different matrices. We're going to just do A and B and kind of play around with those two. We're going to add them and we're going to subtract them. And we might multiply something by them because it's going to make it a little bit easier in the next section. So when we go here, we're going to go over to edit. Okay, so you're going to use your arrow, go over to edit. All I did was go to second x to the -1 because it said matrix and this screen came up. I'm going to go over to edit. I'm going to hit enter. And let's do both of these. Let's do both of these matrices. Let's do 3 rows and 2 columns. So whatever you put in there, that's what size it's going to be. So 3 by 2. So it has 3 rows if you go down first and then over. And I'm just going to type a random matrix in for A. So 3, 2, 5, 6, and let's do -1 and 6. Okay, so this is my matrix A. I'll give you a minute to type that in. You've got 3, 2, 5, and 6, -1 and 6. Now, that matrix is officially in there. I can change it if I edit it and type over it, clear it out, type over it. But for right now, matrix A is this matrix. Okay, now I'm going to go back and do second matrix again. So x -1, but this time, and this is a little bit tricky, I'm going to type something in matrix B. And what you would think you would do is arrow down to B and then hit enter, but that's not going to get it because we need to make sure we're over at edit. So when you start scrolling over to edit, well, look what happened. It went back up to A. And this is where a lot of our students miss these because they type over what they just typed in. So we want to leave A alone and we want to go and make a second matrix. That's matrix B. So we're going to need to go over to edit first, then down to B, and then hit enter. I'm going to do a same size matrix so that I'm able to add them and subtract them. So 3 by 2. And I really am just picking random things to put in here. 7, 9, 3, -2, 2, 8. Okay, so there's my matrix B. I've got a 3 by 2, and it's typed in there. So now I can't really do anything else from this screen. I do know that's my matrix B. But what if I want to add these or subtract them? I'm going to hit second mode and just get out of that. And let's say we want to add matrix A plus matrix B. So to do that, we're going to do second matrix. And this time I do want to select A. So I'm just going to hit enter. And remember, we want to add that to matrix B. So I put plus second matrix, and I want to scroll down to B, and this is where I do want to hit enter. Okay, so I'm saying add matrix A and matrix B and tell me what you get. So here is matrix A plus matrix B, and we'll talk about what that looks like, the mechanics of it in 10.2, but I did want to make sure I just show you how to do this on the screen. So what if I want to subtract them? I'm going to go second matrix, I'm going to hit enter, minus second matrix, and this time I want to subtract, so I'm going to subtract B, and I'm going to hit enter. Well, now it's subtracted them for me. So those are the answers, and this is going to help you a whole lot on your test questions. So there's adding them, here's subtracting them. What if I want to multiply matrix A by 3? Well, you would just do 3 And then when you're multiplying, you don't have to put time. So you can just put them right beside each other. So here's 3 times matrix A, and we would hit enter and get that answer. So that's basically it. I will go ahead and when I teach 10.2, I will do a couple of these, putting them in. I won't do every one of them just because it takes so much time to go back and forth from the screen to the calculator, but I will show this skill again because it does help. I'll do a lot of them by hand to make sure that you understand, but I'm also showing you how to do it on the calculator. And so we really just have 10.2 to cover, and then we are done with this stuff.